Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice here on Newport Road. And I'm now joined by absolutely no stranger to YCN, and someone I've actually don't know if I've ever interviewed you.
No, you haven't.
Okay, Gail Matthews, I should say who you are. I'm thrilled to interview you. I've never done that before.
Well, you're the professional.
Oh, I don't know. We have tape that could go way back showing you are too. You used to be in my seat.
I know. Started it way back, but now you and Greg have made it so professional.
We're having a lot of fun here.
Yes, you are.
We are talking about Alzheimer's, something that's you're very passionate about. You have a personal story about. I will let you kind of tell your story. I know it, but let's have the viewers know it too.
Well, Abby, I'd rather be working on Make-A-Wish for Children. This was thrown in my lap 18 years ago. Glenn was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and he died 10 years ago. And the day he was diagnosed, he put his hands on my shoulder and he said, "Honey, we have a project." And we always loved projects, but they were usually 2x4s and 6x8s and all that sort
Building
of thing.
a barn, yeah.
And so he said, "Start taking notes." And he wanted me to find a cure to erase the stigma and to raise awareness, because 18 years ago there was so little out there. And if you said the word, people didn't want to hear it. They thought of it as Alzheimer's disease, as senility, as losing your mind, as all that. They didn't know that it was a disease that was founded in 1904 by Aloysius Alzheimer's. And he had a patient who was in her 50s, Frida something or other, and she died, and she was in an asylum. And he examined her brain and discovered right then and there that it was a disease. It wasn't that your hips wore out or, as you grew older. So I went through the whole thing with Glenn. There was really no help for the caregiver. And you wear out physically. And Glenn was 6'2" and 185 pounds. And, I had to change his clothes many times a day toward the end. At the beginning, we lived a quality life because we could manage it. But then at the end, it got really, there's 7 stages, and he died in the 5th stage. And I had respite from the Lake Sunapee VNA, which is just a wonderful program. It's just wonderful. And it gives you a chance to, if you're the caregiver, to pay bills, to go get your hair done if you want, to just have a little bit of a change. But the important thing with the Lake Sunapee VNA respite is that the person who has Alzheimer's is with other people that do, like there was an airplane pilot next to Glenn, and a professor, and all these different people, and there's no judgment. And they get a lunch, and they do all sorts of fun things. Music comes and plays.
Sure.
And so it's great for them.
Right.
But it's also a wonderful chance for the caregiver. I couldn't take Glenn shopping in the area down here.
Sure.
Because he would disappear.
Right.
I could turn around and go, and that's
be gone,
yeah,
right.
and it's very hard.
Right.
But that was toward the end, and then, as I said another time, at the very end, it's hell, and it's very expensive. I think when I started, well, this is confusing. My mom was dying at the same time.
Right.
In Rhode Island. She was 100 years old, and I wanted to help my brother and sister. So I was traveling, and Glenn could not sit in a car. He would try to get out. So I put him in Woodcrest, and I think I was paying something like $8,000 a month then, and I hear it's gone way up, as all expenses have. And at the last, when he came home right before he died, it was $27,500. And I mean, this is just a lot of money that people have to pay in order to take care of someone.
Right.
And 24/7 is round the clock, everything.
And you've made it your mission not only for Alzheimer's research, which we will get into, but also for caregivers.
Yeah, my whole thing is for caregivers, and the research, of course, because the research will help the caregivers.
Sure.
The reason for caregivers is that it just was so hard to not have support.
And not know what to, I mean, you were figuring it out on your own.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, what do you do? And for example, I had to change the sheets in our bed a lot of times. and it was a big bed, queen size. So what I did was, and I'm so proud of this because I thought of this, is I went out and bought 2 extra long twin beds and put them together, so that when I was washing a sheet or sheets,
right.
I was just doing the twin,
Right.
which was great.
Very smart.
So then I went into, well, I published the book, and that has been all over the country, and that helps caregivers because it's a journal of our story.
Yes.
And how we coped with things. There's one place in it that Glenn loved to plant. In fact, I just had all of his apples from the apple trees. And so I thought, well, he can help me today plant these bushes. And we went out, and I said, honey, will you help me plant these bushes? And I said, go get the shovel. So he went and brought back the snow shovel. Now, this man knew how to plant
Definitely.
trees.
Yes.
You know, he just
Yes.
did.
Yes.
So I thought, well, let's go have a picnic. It was easier to do that. And the biggest thing with caregivers is patience. And you're exhausted,
I can't imagine.
physically and mentally.
Cannot imagine.
And you're emotionally, because you're seeing this person who was your partner. And we were married 54 years.
Right.
Just disappearing.
Right in front of you.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
When I have you back on, we're going to talk about some new research that has just come out that you're very passionate about.
Okay.
We'll hear more next week from Gail about the progress that is being made in tackling this insidious disease. When we return, we'll be joined by Kate Hanley, a woman who lived the life of an Alzheimer's caregiver with her mother. First, these words from a business that feels our program is important.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.